I got a patron request from Aiden to review the animated movie Entergalactic, a project conceived by the rapper Scott Cudi, aka Kid Cudi. Something I have to admit is that I largely never pay attention to current music, and as a result will always be behind a lot of other people when finding out about popular artists. For example, I never heard of Meghan Trainor until hearing the song she contributed to the Peanuts movie. I brought this up in my recent video on the Bill and Ted franchise, but when Kid Cudi popped up in Bill and Ted Face the Music, I thought the writers had invented a fictional rapper for the story. I only later found out Kid Cudi is in fact a real rapper. This is all to say that I know extremely little about him and his music. Like I said, Scott Cudi conceived the story for Entergalactic alongside Kenya Barris, the creator of Blackish. The plan was originally for this to be a television series, but then that changed and it was instead released as a movie. Although curiously, Netflix labels it as a special, as does Cudi, but I don't really agree with that label. It runs about 90 minutes and it's structured a lot like a feature film, so with all due respect to the creators, I'm calling it a movie. The story presents the classic romantic comedy template with two people meeting, falling in love, and then dealing with the complications of their relationship. However, it's what the filmmakers do with this familiar story that allows Entergalactic to stand out. A lot of the film consists of the characters having what seem like casual conversations, and they do prove to be engaging, whether it's the lead protagonist Jabari talking with his friends, or his eventual girlfriend Meadow hanging out with her pregnant friend. The film is divided into chapters which fit the specific points in their relationship, and they manage to be interesting people worth following. Jabari and Meadow have solid chemistry, showing how they are able to connect with each other, although we do get the usual third act breakup with a misunderstanding that could be resolved by simply talking to each other, but I did not find this nearly as bothersome as I usually do. The animation plays a particularly big role in making this an enjoyable movie, by doing a lot of inventive things. In the early scenes, it does seem like the frame rate has dropped, but as the movie played on, this became less noticeable. And while yes, it would be easy to compare the animation style here to Into the Spider-Verse, especially with the similar settings and energy, the look of Entergalactic does stand on its own. It also does not just give us one look, as we get several sequences that take advantage of the art form, including how the movie transitions between scenes. Jabari is a graffiti artist working for a comic book company, and this is where we see Entergalactic do a lot of inventive things as it dives into his imagination and the character he has created. By the way, when I saw his character, Mr. Rager, I thought there was a 50% chance Keith David would be the voice. And what do you know, he was. But that's not a complaint. I will never be disappointed at Keith David appearing in something. Speaking of the voices, the characters are obviously designed to resemble the actors. This is not too out of the ordinary for animation, but it's especially obvious here, with Jabari designed to look like Cudi and Meadow looking exactly like Jessica Williams. Although I admit the entire time Jabari's ex-girlfriend was on screen, I kept thinking Zoe Kravitz was her voice model. Turns out she was actually Laura Harrier. Meanwhile, I did not recognize Timothée Chalamet voiced one of the best friends. There are people who talk about wanting to see adult animation that is more than just of the Family Guy variety, and I think Entergalactic does fit the bill, as these characters do have adult conversations, but not in a way that's attempting to be obviously crude, even with some of the sexual humor that is thrown in at times. And while it is very much a product of Scott Cudi's mind, utilizing his songs as inspiration for the storylines and characters, it never came across like a vanity project to me. I say this as someone with no knowledge about how he is as a person or his progression as a musician, but did not feel like an advertisement for his latest album. It felt like a sincere collaboration between Cudi, Kenya Barris, the director of Fletcher Moles, the writers, and the artists and animators who worked on this. He is not the first musician to utilize animation to bring an aspect of his creative ideas to life, and he won't be the last. I feel like they see animation as another avenue to express themselves. He initially revealed there would be more seasons, as he put it, but it looks like that is not happening anymore, and he announced a different animated project instead, so we'll see how that goes. As for Entergalactic, I found it a solid romantic comedy, slightly elevated by its clever animation. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for the request, Aiden.